Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these two body butters. One is a bronzing body butter and the other is a coconut whipped body butter. So first you're going to need a large mixing bowl, a hand mixer, a container of your choice. You're going to need 1 cup of shea butter, a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and essential oil of your choice. So next you're going to take all of your ingredients and combine them in a large mixing bowl, one by one. Now before you start all of these steps, make sure that you have a medium-sized pot of hot water boiling on the stove. You will need that to melt all of the ingredients together. So that's definitely important to do before you start all of the mixing process. So here I'm just mixing in the last of the ingredients. Once you have all your ingredients in the bowl, you want to add about 10 to 15 drops of the essential oil, and you're going to put that in the mix. Now you want to take your bowl over to the stove and sit it on top of the pot of boiling water to melt. And I'm just putting mine on a medium temperature. And as you can see, it's starting to melt down. Now you want to make sure to stir your mixture occasionally. That way you ensure all of the ingredients have melted down properly. You don't have to stay over the pot the whole time mixing it, but when you get closer to the end, you want to just make sure all of the chunks of shea butter are melted down. So once the pot is all melted, you're going to take your mix and put it in the freezer to cool for about 10 to 15 minutes. Making sure that you give it a good stir before you put it in the freezer to ensure that all of the cinnamon and all the cocoa powder is mixed together thoroughly. Now, place it in the freezer. So about 10 to 15 minutes has passed, and I'm just checking the mixture, making sure it's not too hard. Now I'm going to take my hand mixer and I'm going to begin to break down the mix, and I'm going to turn my mixer on the lowest setting and begin to mix this all together. Now some parts like the edges were a bit tough to break up, so just be careful and make sure that you hold the bowl really tight so it doesn't go flying. And just continue to mix your ingredients. You might have to scrape the edges a bit just to make sure all of the solid pieces are combined and mixed well. And here I'm just giving it another stir just until I have all of the ingredients mixed together very well. And this process takes about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a little less. So now I have my mixture all whipped together. I'm going to take that and scoop it into my container. You can use any container of your choice. I chose a glass container just because it has this airtight seal, and I know that it will stay sanitary and easy for me to scoop out. Now right here, I'm just making sure the consistency is really nice and that it's in the bowl well. Alright, so now we're going to get into the next butter. So here I am just scooping out 1 cup of coconut oil, and I'm using raw coconut oil. Try to get the unrefined organic kind because it'll have the most beneficial properties once it's in its raw state. And it was a bit difficult for me to scoop out my coconut oil because I had it in the refrigerator prior and it was almost rock solid. So it's best to use it when it's room temperature. So now that I have my cup of coconut oil, I'm going to go ahead and put that in my mixing bowl. Now this next step is optional, but I did add 1/2 teaspoon of rosehip oil. You can also add vitamin E oil, but it's completely optional. You can just always just strictly use the coconut oil. It's up to you. Lastly, I'm going to add 10 drops of my favorite essential oil. This is a lemon citronella. It gives it a nice citrusy smell. So next, you are going to blend all of the ingredients together. And since mine was a bit hard, it took me a while to blend. But if you use room temperature coconut oil, it will be pretty easy to blend. So you're just going to continue to blend until it turns into a nice whipped consistency like it's starting to here. Once it begins to form its whipped consistency, then you know that your mixture is ready and you can go ahead and scoop it out of your bowl and into the container of your choice. Now you can see right here, it almost looks like some whipped frosting, but don't eat it, even though you probably can because coconut oil is totally edible. And there you have it, my coconut oil whipped body butter. Well, hello. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make my body butters, and just so you all can see exactly how it turned out, I'm going to apply it just so you can see the consistency, see if it held up the whippedness. Is that even a word? If the whip stayed intact, and just see how it applies to my body. So here I have the bronzing whipped body butter. So I got this container, both containers, I got them at the Dollar Tree. So it's a really nice glass container, and it'll help to preserve my body butter. And I stored this in the refrigerator, but it actually held up very well when I had it just in my bedroom. So as long as it's not a too hot climate, as long as it's not too hot in your house, then it should be fine without having to refrigerate it. But if you find that it's starting to get a little melty, just pop it in the refrigerator, either overnight or just store it in there, and then take it out a few minutes before you have to use it, and it'll be just fine. But yeah, just so you can see, the consistency is still looks pretty whipped in there. Yeah, it's definitely whipped butter. I'm gonna apply it just so you can see exactly how it looks. So it is a bronzing butter. So I have darker tan skin, so if you have lighter skin, this definitely will give you more of a bronze tint to your skin. I will say that I probably should have opted for no nutmeg, because I don't know if you can see, but the little nutmeg grains didn't quite dissolve when it cooked down on the broiler. So I don't know, I don't really like that. It's not a lot, it's just like a few little grains, but it's fine, I guess, if you don't mind it. But I just kind of like brush it off. So I'd say maybe skip the nutmeg, but it does give it a nice smell, but it's not needed. The smell, I literally a few times had to stop myself from eating it, making me think it was like chocolate mousse or like some kind of delicious dessert, because it smells like some kind of dessert. It's amazing. The smell is just crazy. Anyway, yeah, so it definitely gives me a glowy tint to it. So your skin will definitely glow. Like my skin is pretty glowy compared to this one. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but this is the glowy one. This is one without anything on. So it gives it a glowy, like I said, bronze tint if you have lighter skin. But even with my skin being tan, it still gives it a little tint. Let me show. Okay, so this is the coconut whipped butter, and this container I also got at the dollar store for, actually it was the Dollar Tree, excuse me, for $1. It looks pretty milky, pretty creamy whipped. I put this in the refrigerator, so it's kind of solid right now. I didn't thaw it out before I started recording because I forgot. But when you're ready to use it, you could just like thaw it out, like maybe when you get ready to get in the shower, just thaw it out for a little bit, let the steam get to it. It'll be fine. I only did that because this one started to melt more than the whipped. The whipped butter, the bronze whipped butter didn't really seem to melt, but this one was starting to melt. And I think it's because it was pretty hot in my house. It was over like 75 degrees at one point. Yeah, so trying to get it out, I have to kind of scrape it just to get it out. But I just want you to be able to see how it applies. It smells very citrusy because of the essential oil that I put in, but this was the one that was super simple to make. It took 2 to 3 ingredients, really easy to make. So it is very oily because it's basically just coconut oil with added scent. I put a little bit of rose hemp in it, but it's mainly just coconut oil. It's pretty shiny. It is oily, I will say, because yet again, it's coconut oil. But if you use coconut oil for your skin, you'll like this. You definitely will like this because it gives it a whipped consistency, as well as it you can create a different scent versus just using plain coconut oil on its own. This gives you the opportunity to have a fragrance with your coconut oil. So it's a nice gift if you want to gift it to somebody. Just let them know to possibly put it in your refrigerator if they do want to use it because it might melt, and then also to take it out so that way it thaws out. But other than that, I really like this one. I will say my favorite of the two would probably be the whipped bronzer. The only thing I don't like about this is the nutmeg grains that comes out, but I really like the tint that it gives my skin and the glowy effect that it gives my skin. But then again, this is more of like an everyday one. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you do decide to make any whipped butters, let me know your recipes. Also, leave a comment below which one you'd like to try, or leave a comment below letting me know which one you're gonna make on your own. I hope you liked this video. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss a video. And until the next video, I will see you next time.